Welcome to Go Green Radio, everybody. So glad that you could tune in today. I'm so excited about our guest. Shannon Rochon is an amazing individual, and he has a new book out this year. It's called Jack of All Trades, Master of All, Being Multi-Gifted in a Singular Gifted Society. He's also a school board trustee at the Wayne-Westland Community School District in Michigan. And he's the founder and executive director of BlackCount, which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to increasing Black representation in civic life. So I'm so excited that you all could tune in and as we talk with him about his views on leadership, representation, environmental justice, and so much more. So first of all, I just want to say welcome to Go Green Radio, Shannon. I'm so excited to have you on the show.
Jill, I'm excited to be on the show. When we met, you just had this exuberant personality. I was like, Jill's my girl. She's cool.
And the feeling was mutual. We just really vibed, and I'm so excited to kind of have a deeper conversation. We were at a conference, and you know how it is. Like
Yeah.
everybody's chit-chatting, but we really get to dive deep. And I am such a fan of your book, and so I want to start by talking about it because it means a lot to me. I'm sharing it with my kids, who I feel, of course, it's hard to be objective, but I think they're multi-gifted. And I want to talk about what it means, what you define multi-gifted to be, and why is it so important for individuals to recognize that trait in themselves?
Yes, yes, yes. I believe every person is born with multiple gifts. People say, well, no, I just do this. I think if we really do a deep dive within ourselves, we're born with multiple gifts. And I think society tells us that we should just pick one gift. We should pick one career, one identity. This is who you are. Don't deviate. But growing up, I realized I had all of these gifts. I'm like, well, should I go here? Should I go there? It wasn't until I realized and studied and prayed and talked to mentors, and they were like, you're multi-gifted. Use them all. Use them all. And you can use them all creatively to fulfill your purpose. So that's why I kind of wrote the book. My book encourages people to stop apologizing for having multiple interests. It's okay. It's okay to have multiple interests, multiple gifts. Only thing you have to do is steward all of those gifts wisely. I believe everyone is multi-gifted, and I think you should operate and utilize all the God gifts, all the gifts, God-given gifts that God has given you.
I love that. I think that's so um, it's so refreshing,
Mhm.
because I think sometimes people feel like if they have multiple gifts or multiple interests, there's something wrong with them because society says pick a lane.
Mhm.
And, society doesn't always equip people with the tools that they need to shine through all
Mhm.
those gifts. And your book walks readers through some of the tools that people need to bring all of their talents to the world. And I'd love for you to spend some time talking about these three first, and then we'll get to some other ones. But you talk about organization, you talk about setting goals and prioritizing. And then a really important one, I think, is cultivating focus and discipline. Talk
Mhm.
to us about those three.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was saying to myself, how do I manage all of the gifts I have? Just to give a few gifts, I growing up in a big family in the city of Detroit, Motown sound, music is a big thing. And then you have, I grew up in church. The Winans group was a big thing, and my family went to one of the Winans, Marvin Winans Church, Perfecting Church,
Oh my
and
gosh.
us being a big family, we saw ourselves through the lens of the Winans. Like we could also sing and be talented, or we're from Motown and we can do those things that Motown did. So growing up, we were singers as kids. We would, in our pastime, we would play outside, but then we come inside and we're singing and writing music. But then I also, because we were a big family, um, we didn't have much means. I would go to school and, I need a haircut, mom. And she's like, well, I don't have any haircut money. but she bought some clippers and I started cutting hair. I started cutting my little brother's hair. I got good doing that. So I started cutting hair in the neighborhood. And then I was mentored and start working with my hands. This is all while I was middle school, high school, um, um, learning electrical work and plumbing and I played basketball. So doing all of these gifts and having all these gifts, I just never saw myself as a singular gifted person. I think talent without structure creates a frustration. And when you have all this talent, and there's no structure, it creates frustration. So with that, I realize organization allows gifts to work together instead of competing against each other. So if you organize your gifts and say, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this and do this, but I'm going to put them in different orders and organize them, then they all can work together. I tell people all the time to identify those priorities for today. And the way you identify those priorities for today, you got to ask your questions. What has the greatest impact right now? You know, I can be in a school board meeting, and I need to focus on the school board work at that time. I shouldn't focus on my brother or my cousin who wants a haircut. You know, so focus on what's the greatest impact right now. Every opportunity is your assignment. It isn't your assignment. I'm sorry. Every opportunity isn't your assignment. A lot of times people may say, hey, I need you to do this right now, or can you do? And nope, just focus in on what is the need for now. Then focus. Focus is key. Focus is key. Focus isn't eliminating your gifts. It's not deciding which gift deserves the attention. It's not eliminating the gifts, but it's deciding which gift you should focus on at the present moment. So you have to be able to focus in on what's before you at that time, not negating other things you need to do or other gifts, but what's in front of you. And then discipline is what keeps the purpose moving forward when when despair comes or doubt comes. Discipline is where it kick in and say, you know what? I didn't accomplish this, but you know what? I'm going to stay the course because I have a plan. I'm organized. I'm going to stay focused on what's at hand. And I'm going to keep moving when I don't want to move anymore, when I'm tired, when I didn't sell as many books as I wanted, or I didn't get a resolution passed in the school board meeting. You know what? I'm not going to stop. I'm going to stay the course and stay disciplined, stay focused, keep all of my ideas organized, and move forward towards purpose. So,
I love that, Shannon. And the thing that's great about the way that you kind of break this out in your book is that for people who might be wondering, do I have attention deficit disorder? Maybe I do, maybe I don't, but I feel like I have so many interests. You really give some structure and some concrete actions that people can take to put some organization and some discipline around these things so they don't have to forfeit these
mhm,
interests and these talents, but they
mhm.
can structure it in a way where they can see achievement and success. I love what you say about the kind of people that we have in our lives and who can help us reach our goals. And I would love for you to talk about a couple of concepts in the book. One is leveraging synergy. And the
Mhm.
other one is building a supportive network. So important. So talk to us about those two concepts.
Yes, yes, yes. One thing I always say, nobody fulfills purpose alone. Even, and not to go biblical, but God
You
created.
can. I just
Okay,
want to say you can.
will
Be
do. Will,
you.
yeah, I'm gonna be myself.
Yes,
But
yes.
God created Adam and it was great. But he said it's not good for man to be alone. So he created Eve. Partnership and community is really my sole purpose is that if we can just, and I know this sounds kumbaya, but really, if we could come together and support one another, it's so much we can accomplish in life as individuals and as a group. So with that, nobody fulfills purpose alone. We often think success comes from doing everything ourselves, or I'm gonna just do it, or I can do this myself. No, let's get out of ourselves and understand there's help out there. Whether it's in your family, whether it's outside of your family, there's help out there to help us. And I believe your network should stretch your vision. You can have a vision, but if you have a bunch of people that are yes men or yes women, they're just saying, oh, that's great, that's great. They should not just celebrate your accomplishments, but they should stretch your vision. They should add questions. Look for people that are questioning what you're doing. That's okay. Oh, well, I don't know if that's a great idea. What about this, Shannon? What about that? Do you think that's too much? A lot of times my friends tell me, I tell them, yeah, I'm going to do this, do this, do this. Like, you're doing too much, Shannon. But then by the end of the year, they're like, well, you did it. Like, I'm surprised
That's
that you
right.
did it. It's because I have vision and because I've seen the track record in my life. When I get vision, I always let my community know, my friend group know, hey, this is what I want to do, but I need your support, your help. And they'll see where they can support me. And the vision usually comes to fruition because I have a supportive network. So I would tell people a lot of times we like to, I'm a extrovert, but I'm really an introvert as well. And I like to do things myself and don't want to bug anybody, don't want to ask questions, ask people for help. But you have to get out of that mindset of, you know what, I need help. Even though I think I have the plan to the T, run it by someone else, run it by a few people, and they'll help perfect that gift so you can move forward in your purpose.
I love that. Your book also talks about, celebrating milestones and success
Yeah.
as you overcome challenges, overcome setbacks. Celebrate, when something goes right. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, yeah. I think every multi-gifted person experience sometimes seasons of doubt, season of you're questioning yourself, seasons of am I doing too much? And I think what we need to do is focus on not just celebrating the end result, but celebrate the times when it was tough and the smaller wins. I say the smaller wins are if you had a difficult week or something challenging happened during that week or that day. By the end of the day, there's a certain level of gratefulness we need to find within and say, hey, this didn't go like I liked it, but you know what? It could have been worse. The half glass full mindset. It could have been worse. And I made it through the day. I made it through the end of the week. I'm grateful. And you know what? I'm going to get that ice cream I said I wanted and celebrate the fact that it could have been worse, but I'm able to still live and have another day to complete that purpose and that goal.
You know what? Everybody needs a friend like you, Shannon, like somebody with this positive energy, just, encouraging folks. And that's why I wanted to bring you to our listeners because I think everybody is so in need of this message right now. We have so much more to talk about. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but don't go away, folks. There's more Go Green Radio right after this. Welcome back to Go Green Radio, everybody. So glad that you could tune in. Our guest today is Shannon Rochon. He has a new book out this year, and I am loving talking about it because it really is the kind of message we all could use right now. It's a message of encouragement. It's a message of self-reflection and achieving goals that maybe we've been putting off, maybe we've been afraid to try. His book, you can get it so easily on Amazon, is called Jack of All Trades, Master of All. So please get out there and check it out. Shannon, as we are all out there trying to do our best to make our communities better and our workplace better and achieve all of these goals, you talk about the importance of self-care. You talk about embracing growth and learning. And I'd love for you to take some time talking about those two concepts with us.
Yes, yes, self-care. I think about self-care. I'm the oldest boy of seven. Big At times, I would be responsible to make sure my siblings get to school on time, and I would pick them up at school while my mom was at work. And they would always look to me like, "Hey, Shannon, can we get some snacks from the store?" And I will always try to make sure I have snacks for them. At times, we didn't have all the means to get all the snacks, and at times, I remember my little sister. I got them all some little juices and some little bags of chips, and they were eating. They were so happy, and they were like, "Shannon, where's yours?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll be fine." And really, I just didn't have any more money, and to buy me something. By the grace of God, for some reason, there was always somebody to pour back into me when I didn't have the means. They would say, "Hey, can I buy you lunch today?" Or, "Hey, come here with me and you can eat here." And there was just always that ram in the bush to help me out. From that, I realized that I pour into so many other people all the time, from when I was younger, my little siblings, to my community, from my church group, from everyone. And I love doing that. That's my passion. But I find myself empty at times. So in my older age, I said, I really need to focus on self-care. Going through therapy, I said, I'm going to start therapy. I think everything is good, but I'm going to be start therapy. And I talked to a therapist, and they said, you want to focus on self-care. What do you do for yourself at the end of the week? And I said, you know what? Nothing. And what I end up doing is, and I'll preface this to say, I'm a very masculine man. I work on cars. I'm educator. I can play basketball, sports, and very masculine. But my self-care routine now, I love. And I'm going to put this out here for men. One thing I do on a weekly to bi-weekly basis is I get a facial. I
I
get a
love that. I love that so
I'm
much.
telling you, and I begin to focus on getting facials and maybe once a month get a manicure and pedicure. And, back in the day, I was like, no, I'm good. I don't need that. My hands are ashy, they're dry, my nails are breaking. I'm a man. No. I love getting my facials. I don't even know the names of everything, but the little patches under my eyes, I put that on, and the toner and the nightly moisturizing routine. I've learned that, but that's what I do to pour into myself. I realize self-care isn't being selfish, but it's really filling your own cup. And I do the facial thing, I do the manicure thing, I do the pedicure thing, and I'm a masculine man, and I encourage every man out there facial. It'll change
You
your life.
And I love that because sometimes self-care can be the most surprising activities.
Yes.
But whatever restores you. I had a good friend when I was years ago, before I started the Go Green Initiative, and I was very active in PTA and volunteering. And one of my friends said, I see you running around and you've got three kids at home too, and you're kind of looking haggard. You can't pour from an empty pitcher. You
Mm,
need to do something to get yourself
yes.
filled back up. So I think that's very important, and I love that section of your book as well. As you mentioned in the last segment, you and I met this year in DC at
Yes.
the National School Boards Association Advocacy Institute. And that's where I learned that you're a school board member in the Wayne-Westland Community School District in Michigan. Talk to us about your time on the school board and some of the most exciting things that you've been able to work on in that capacity.
Wow. As a school board member, I realize, first of all, the most exciting thing is really coming out of the governance portion of the school board meetings, but going to the actual schools, to the elementary, the middle schools, the high schools, communing with the students, going to lunchroom, hearing their opinions. That is the most fulfilling part. I'm going to get back to that, but One thing being on the school board, I created immediate impact because I said we need to focus on our student achievement as a whole. Our student culture, our student grades, academics, just students having, we're focused on something that's student centered. So I suggested and we created in our Wayne-Westland school board, I started in the chair, and I'm the chair of the Student Achievement Committee. And we from that committee, we've started a parent advisory committee where we bring the district's parents together. It's almost like a district-wide PTO. And we bring them together and get their input on the different schools that their children attend and the community and ways we can improve our student life. Then from there, we started a student advisory committee because
Love
by
that.
being on the school board, we talk about students and what they need and what we should do for them, but we don't have enough student impact and student advice. So from there, we've created this student advisory committee where students have direct say to the school board, saying, hey, we don't like these lunches, or we
Hmm.
need more time taking some of these tests, or our community, we want to start this new group or that new group, but making sure our students have a voice. So that is some of the most exciting things that I've and experiences I've had on the school board, as far as governing. But going into the schools, man, it's been so fulfilling and exciting. I would go to lunchrooms of fifth graders, and they would ask me, "Hey, are you the new principal?" It's like, "No, I'm a school board member." They're like, "Great, because we love our principal. We don't want him to leave." I'm like, no problem. I'm just here to hear you guys and talk to you guys. And they would say, so what do you do? I'm like, I'm a school board member. Of course, they had no clue what that was. The principal said, well, he does the governance of the school's issues and make sure that we're on track. And they're kind of over us. And he said that. It was like, oh, well, maybe I want to become a school board member if we're over the principals. And just to hear that and to see the possibilities spark in their mind, it's like, wow, I need to make sure I'm here and present more often. Of course, talking to them, elementary students during lunchtime, they're like, "Hey, you going to recess with us?" Sure, why not? And talked to some other students, and they were like, "We can see you're a cool guy because you have a dress shirt on, but you got the new Jordans on, and we like those shoes." So from that, I would make sure this is kind of a sidebar. When I go visit schools, I'm a sneakerhead. So I collect sneakers. It's like a childhood thing that I'm bringing to my adulthood. I collect sneakers and I always try to stay abreast on the new sneakers because that's an en route to students. When they see you professional, may have a suit on or a dress shirt, but then they see your sneakers, they're like, hold on, how do you know about those sneakers? How did you know they just came out Saturday at 10 o'clock when Jordan does his official drops? And to be able to engage them on that level, that it opens their mind to for the so many possibilities. So with that, those are some of the exciting moments of being a school board member. I had no clue that I would experience.
I want to ask you another question because we talk about representation a lot on Go Green Radio, whether it's, gender representation, age representation. You have a unique position as in your community as a Black male on the school board, and I want to talk to you about why you think it's important for the students to see a Black male in a position like a school board trustee in your community.
Yes, Black men in education, I believe, is underrepresented. And me being the only Black male on my school board, I see, and other board members have shared with me, like, we need you because they need to see you. Our student body has to see a Black male in this role to believe in themselves that they can also have possibility. Representation matters, because possibility matters. When the students would look at me and they would see me, and then they, as I said, my gym shoes, they look at my gym shoes like, man, where did you get those from? And just seeing somebody that comes from them with the same complexion or being a male, they're like, you know what? I'm interested in what you do, and I can do that if I choose to do that as well. I want to make sure that I open doors for the future generation of leaders, that they understand, hey, you matter and who you are and your economical background or situation is not limiting because you too can achieve greatness. So,
I love that. And you that's at home too. And I want to give you a chance to brag on your kids for a little bit. I never miss a chance myself. But
yeah.
I recently saw some LinkedIn posts about their achievements, and I want you to share with our viewers and what they're up to, talk about, fatherhood with us, and then tell us what lessons you hope they will take into adulthood from watching their dad get so involved in education.
Yes, yes, yeah. Of course, we could talk about our kids for a whole hour. So, do we have an hour or two? No.
I know.
I'm really blessed to have some really cool kids. Really cool. I never really had much trouble with them. They've just been great. Right now, my baby, he just graduated from high school and he's an athlete and he's better than me. He's I mean, in all ways, he's just super mature. He just turned 18 2 weeks ago and he's like 18 going on 35. He's very mature, level head, and he is a athlete at school, basketball, football, but he recently received a scholarship to play football in college. So he's excited about that, and I'm excited for him. And he's just, he has his friends group, they all play sports, and his scholarship came in later in the year, and he was like, I didn't think I was going to get it, but he got it and it's really working out for him. And I'm just so proud and just so happy for him. I have three total. My middle daughter, that is the fire in the family. Middle child. She's fearless, she's stylish, and she's almost like a little sister to me because I can talk to her about everything. Like today, this happened. I don't know what I should do. She's like, Dad, you can do it. She encourages me at times. You can do it. No judgment. I'm here to support you, whichever way you go. And I'm like, you're my little friend, my little broke friend.
I love it.
Amazing, amazing. And then my oldest daughter, just a super, just a gem. She just recently graduated from college, and
Oh,
yes, she just recently graduated from college in April. And in March, her boyfriend came to me. We sat in Starbucks, and he said, I want to ask you for your daughter hand in marriage. I'm like,
oh,
huh?
oh
My
my
heart's beating.
goodness.
I'm like, oh my so I'm trying to be the tough guy, dad. I'm like, well, if you want my daughter's hand in marriage, you have to understand that she's a jewel, that she's just really different. She's very awesome. She's charismatic. She's this. And I'm just going about all these attributes about her, just letting him know how I feel about her. And to look in his eyes and for him to jump in and say, right, I know she's different. That's why I love
Yes.
her. It brought me to tears like, okay,
Oh,
I'm the father and I'm not going to cry, but it really brought me to tears and brought just this level of I know that she would be in good hands. So she's just graduated. He graduated last year and they're working together in the hospitals. She's going into nursing and it's just a beautiful sight. I'll say this to end is that she's in the in-between time before they get married and she's like, Dad, can I stay with you, for a couple months, as we like, yeah, sure. So I got my daughter back in my home. I'm like excited, like, you need some
that's
breakfast?
the
Eat this? You have
best.
gas in your car? Just so chipper. At times, he's just made himself home here. He comes in, he's cooking. He's like, "Hey, Dad, I made some dinner for you and Shannon. You want some?" And you're cooking for me. I'm just in heaven right now because I have them both in my home. My daughter's in my home, and he's coming by like every day. I just love it. So I'm so proud of them. But one thing I want them to know as I wrap up at this last thing is I want them to understand that influence is not measured by how famous you are or all the things you do, but how you influence other lives and improve other lives. I'm big on community and serving others because it'll come back to you. So if they can see that in my life, I've done a good job and I'm happy about it.
I love that so much, Shannon. And that same positivity and that same spirit of
Mm.
purposefully helping others and helping the community comes through in your book. And that's why I hope so many of our listeners will get out on Amazon and buy Shannon Rochon's Jack of All Trades, Master of All. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we have so much more with Shannon. So don't go away, folks. There's more Go Green Radio right after this. Welcome back to Go Green Radio. So glad that you could all join us. Our guest today, in case you're just tuning in, is Shannon Rochon. He is the author of a book that I really want to encourage you to grab on Amazon. It's called Jack of All Trades, Master of All, which is a little twist on the good old saying. I love it. And it's really inspiring. And I think it's also very pragmatic. It has a lot of tips to help you organize yourself, prepare yourself, and do the things that will make you feel proud that you're using your talents to make the world a better place. One of the things that I really like about you and what you talk about in your book, Shannon, is your process. It's the way that you strive to continuously learn and grow, even when you're in a position of leadership. That's so refreshing. So I want you to talk to us about how that specific growth and learning mindset has manifested itself in your role as a school board member.
Yes, yes. Being in leadership, leadership should never become arrogance. And a lot of times, and when you're in leadership, you feel like, hey, you're on top, ahead of the game, but you should always remain a student. One thing I do is I always read, continue to educate myself, going to conferences to educate myself, listening to others, always asking more questions than making statements as a school board member. Even if I have more knowledge in areas, I may state my knowledge, but I'll always ask questions. And I think the best leaders remain students. I would encourage everyone, remain a student and be okay with learning from the most unconventional people and unconventional things because you just never know what knowledge you'll get from whoever. So yeah, I believe in just remaining a student as a leader.
I love that. And I think that's so easy to remember. Little mantra, remain a student, remain a student. That is so grounding. All
Mhm.
right, I'm going to ask you for a little advice now because, as many of my listeners know, my nonprofit organization, the Go Green Initiative, works with school districts throughout the country. Our main mission is to protect children's health from environmental toxins that they might be exposed to at school. And generally, that's indoor air where they might get it, the drinking water, or the food that they ingest at school. And so, as a school board member, I would like for you to give me a little advice on how we can do a better job of helping to educate education leaders about the health risks that kids might face at school and help them address that. How can we improve?
You know, one thing I always say is healthy students learn better. Um, School boards first should already be thinking about indoor air quality, uh, clean drinking water, the healthy nutrition during lunchtime. I think one way that you guys could help is continue doing the work that you're doing. A lot of your information has reached my school board without even me bringing it. I brought some information to my school board from your table from Go Green, and they were like, "Yeah, I saw this as well. Let's work on this initiative." So continue the work that you're doing. One thing I would say that could add to that is if you guys and people can begin to partner with other organizations that's doing the similar work, other local businesses, other churches and nonprofits, and come together as a collective. And from that collective, approach school boards like, hey, your local businesses want to get involved in this. They support this initiative. We want to help you bring this initiative to your school. So, as a collective group, we're coming to you asking if we can implement this. So, I think coming together as a group, a collective, to school board members, they see the power that you guys have and the passion that you have, and they're more welcoming. Like, you know what? They're partnering with our local businesses, our local churches, our local nonprofits. Let's get this initiative going because it's important that we have a clean water, clean environment, clean air for our students as a whole.
That's great advice, and we can do that. So
Yeah.
you gave me some good advice, and I really appreciate that. I love the fact that in addition to your other role as a school board member, you're also the founder and executive director of a nonprofit organization yourself. It's called BlackCount, and I want you to talk to us about why you founded BlackCount and what you are working to achieve.
Yes, yes. I founded BlackCount because I saw the gap between in the incredible talents that Black communities have and their representation in concerning civic leadership and civic engagement. I wanted to bridge. As I said, I've come from a musical background. I sing, play the piano, do a few things musically, and I saw my community being so talented in the entertainment industry, musically and kind. I said, if I can mesh that with civic engagement, we could really make something happen. So what I started doing is doing voter registration drives at music events, at community events. We currently partner with the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater in the city of Detroit, where they have summer concerts every week, and they allowed us to come as an organization to set up voter registration tabling, doing nonpartisan work, voter registration tabling, informing people on voter education, and just supporting people if they need rides to the polls, things of that nature. So that's why we started Black Count, is to bridge that gap between entertainment, music, make it fun to be civically engaged. So that's where it comes from. Our goal is to build our community and sustain and develop leaders through civic engagement.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. Now, one of the programs, you have a couple of different programs under Black Count, and one of them is the National Black Male School Board Association. And I'd love for you to tell us more about the vision of that association and some of the various pillars of leadership that you've outlined.
Yes, yes, yes. We started that organization, as I said, because we realized that Black men are underrepresented in educational governance. And so
Mhm.
we encourage Black men to get involved in school boards. We support other Black men that are in school boards that may feel alone. Let them know you're not alone. You have a group that's here to support you. We encourage others to run for school board just so that representation is there. Some of our pillars are leadership development, educational excellence, community engagement, advocacy work. We also do mentorship and professional development. We really want Black men serving on the school board to know that they're not alone. They're not alone. We're here to support. And really, any color or creed or person, we're here to support you. If you want to get into education, we're here to support. So that's why we open this up. Also, one thing with our National Black Male School Board Association, every year we do a scholarship fund for people that want to go into education. Anyone that wants to go into education, we provide scholarships on an annual basis for high school students, for college students, for adults that want to go into education. We're here to support them financially. So we have a couple of events throughout the year where we raise money to support that scholarship fund.
All right, I have to ask a question.
But
Um, is Makai Ali from Compton a part of your association? Because if not, he needs to be. He is a dynamo. And
yes,
so,
yes, he's not yet, but I have had a conversation with him at the
good,
conference. So yes, yes,
good,
we're working on
good.
it. And there's a lot of, we have a lot of people across the nation that's a part of National Black Male School Board Association. We kind of launched it at the National School Board Association conference.
Yeah.
We've had a mixer and brought people together from California to New Jersey to Missouri, St. Louis, and Detroit and Atlanta. It's like a collective of people, not just Black males, but women and just all a collective of people that's supporting this organization.
I love that.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of people are talking about democracy right now
Mhm.
and the state of our democracy. And BlackCount, your nonprofit organization, is working hard to protect democracy for everyone. And so I'd love for you to tell us about some of the unique approaches that your organization takes to advance that goal of a trusted democratic system.
Yes, yes, yes. Democracy depends upon participation and trust. People have to trust the process, trust democracy. One thing we do to make sure people trust and we're trustworthy or a trustworthy organization is that we go where the people are. We don't bring people, hey, come to us. We go to the communities. We go to the concerts. A lot of times at concerts, people are more open and welcoming and interested to say, hey, what are you guys talking about? I'm here to listen to this concert. I see this table. You guys are giving out gifts. What are you selling? Like, no, we're not selling. We're just informing you on the election process, asking if you're registered to vote. Do you know your polling location? Do you need assistance or know anyone that needs assistance for a ride to vote? And just being a trusted source for people in the community that, hey, we're here to support you in your civic and want to encourage civic engagement. So those are some of the ways that we connect with people is through tabling at concerts, community groups, and just sometimes we have virtual conversations or just a kickback, we'll say, amongst our homes where we have family and friends come over. We just talk about democracy and what's going on at this time. Cool thing about us, we're nonpartisan. We have people from both sides on in our part of our organization. The goal is really just to become a trusted source for including civic engagement and encouraging people to vote.
I love that approach. And I talk to my folks about that a lot. I learned that lesson from then candidate Obama.
Hmm.
When he was running for president, I remember one time when there was a big concert and, everybody's having a great time. And he hopped up on stage and gave a speech to like 100,000 people. And, it was kind of one of those moments where I was like, he didn't ask people to go to him, come to my rally.
Mhm.
He went to the people, and he wasn't very well known at that time. And that really was a turning point for him in that campaign. And I remember thinking, that's even applicable online. Like, if there's a place where people are already gathered, like Reddit or something, go there with your message. If they're already gathered, and they're talking about things that are important to them or having fun, and you can add something to the conversation, go there. And so it's humble and it's also effective. And
Yeah.
so I love that you guys do that.
Yes, yes, that's our passion. That's what we do. And my biggest thing with the members and people that are involved, we have a lot of people that are in the community, that are in entertainment, that do poetry or that sing or musicians. So to be able to implement their gifts into civic engagement is something that we do. We constantly do.
That's awesome, Shannon. We're going to take a quick break, but there's more Go Green Radio right after this. Welcome back to Go Green Radio. In case you're just joining us, our guest today is Shannon Rochon. He's got a book out that you have to get hold of. It's easy. Go to Amazon and type in his name or Jack of all trades, master of all. It's a great read and it's going to encourage you to be all that you can be, use all of your gifts in a really smart and fulfilling way. So check that out. Because this is Go Green Radio, Shannon. I mean, we could just chit chat about, education and kids all day, but because this is Go Green Radio, I want to ask you about environmental justice because on your LinkedIn profile, among the many things that it lists that you are interested in and an advocate for, it lists environmental justice advocate. And I want to give you time to talk about that concept and how you advocate for it.
Yes, yes. I am an advocate for environmental justice. It started, I partnered and worked with Michigan League of Conservation Voters. There, I was the senior partnership director, and my goal was to partner with local businesses, schools, community groups, getting them more involved in environmental work. From there, I began to realize how the environment affected my immediate family. Um, my little brother, he grew up with really bad asthma, and we was wondering like, why does he have asthma? But we realized it was because we moved to a neighborhood that had like a local a plant that was spewing out pollution in the air, and a lot of the kids in the area dealt with really bad asthma. And it wasn't until I made that correlation, like, oh, that's why, that I became a really advocate even outside of Michigan League of Conservation Voters for environmental justice because I realized a lot of environmental justice issues are civil rights issues because the environment there are environmental inequities that usually affect marginalized communities. From there, I began to focus on clean water. We lived in the city of Detroit. We have Detroit River, a beautiful Great Lakes, but there were times where people were couldn't afford to keep their water on and not to be able to have a supply of water coming in their house. There's all type of issues that comes from there. So just being an advocate for clean water, fighting against water shutoffs, things of that nature. That's when I became a real advocate for environmental justice. That's what that means to me, that all have access to clean water, clean air, clean neighborhoods. So that is a passion of mine. Even though I've moved on from Michigan League of Conservation Voters, I still am a great advocate for environmental justice.
That's the part two of this show that we've got to
Yes,
do.
let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes. Yeah, because our vision statement for the Go Green Initiative is environmental justice for every child in
Mm,
every school. And there are things that we're looking for. We want environmental laws and regulations like no lead in drinking water to apply
mhm,
to schools. And it doesn't always, because sometimes between the water distribution line out in the middle of the street and the plumbing that's in an old and kind of run down school that needs investment in that plumbing, there's lead. And
mhm.
therefore, maybe the community isn't getting lead in their water, but the kids are from the drinking fountains and those kinds of things. And so we'll have you back on and we'll talk more
Great.
about that. So
Look forward to it.
um, Go Green Radio listeners are used to this. This is our 19th season, if you can believe it. We started this show in 2008. I was but a child, I swear.
Yeah.
Um, we love a good call to action. We like to get involved. So, what are some of the ways that our listeners and our viewers can support the work that you're doing across the various organizations that you lead?
Yes, yes. I believe support starts with involvement. We just got to get involved. And if you want to get involved in the work that we're doing, Visit our website, blackcount.org. Again, blackcount.org. You can volunteer. You can donate. As I said earlier, we have a scholarship fund for people that are interested going into education. We do a scholarship fund every year. We do a sneaker ball where we raise that money, and all that money goes directly to students, high school students, college students, and people that are out of school that want to transition into education. So you can donate to that. You can sign up for one of our initiatives. You can redirect people to our website, blackcount.org. One thing on BlackCount we've started this year is we start doing t-shirts and hats and merchandise. If you have some time, buy a t-shirt, a hat, and just wear it, a Black Count hat, t-shirt. People are going to ask, what is Black Count? From there, you don't even have to know what all Black Count is about. Just say, hey, go to the website, blackcount.org. There are tons of initiatives to get involved and to volunteer and even to register to vote just from our website. So share our work, purchase some merchandise, or donate to our scholarship fund. That would be great.
I love that. We will continue to hype that, Shannon.
I have
Um,
one more thing. We've been talking about this all day. Is also support by buying a book.
that's right. That's right. Buy
Jack
that
of all
book.
trade, master of all, how to master all of your God-given talents. Support that way
Mhm.
as
Absolutely. And I want to underscore that and put an exclamation point behind it because I really love the book and I'm going to be buying them as well and giving them to my kids
well.
and so I love it. And maybe, you know what? Maybe we'll do a book club with some of our Go Green
Let's do it.
initiative folks and maybe we'll have you do some cameos. That was just an idea. So okay.
Let's do. Sounds
Um,
great.
Many of our viewers are young adults. Some of them are in college or trade school or just starting out in their careers, and they have a lot of doubts about the future and, how they're going to make a living in our rapidly changing world. And because you talk about using your God-given talents and being multi-gifted, take some time to give those young people some advice. I
Mm.
think I think you have a lot of wisdom to share.
You know, in this multi-gifted society and us having multiple gifts, we feel we're torn here and there and there. I would say don't let anyone convince you that your gifts are liabilities. Your gifts are for your purpose, for you to complete. God has given you the strength and the people around you to complete your purpose and activate all of your gifts. Um, but even in that, develop skills that technology can't replace. I tell my kids this: focus on character, making sure your character is right. Focus on leadership. Develop those leadership skills. Develop those communication skills. Develop those creativity skills. Those are skills that technology can't replace. Also, relationships, building relationships, talking to people. I know we're on social media and we're scrolling all day, but put it down sometimes and just talk to people. Go to the park, start up a conversation in the elevator, start up a conversation in the park, create those relationships. I believe your greatest investment is becoming the kind of person that people can trust. Allow your gifts to work together cohesively through organization, through being focused, to being disciplined, to have a greater impact on our lives.
Wow, well said and so profound. Put that book up again because I want people to see their next Amazon cart needs to include Jack of all trades, master of all. We've got about 30 seconds left. In the final moments that we have left in the show, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
I really just want to leave with God didn't create you to have one gift. I know you may say, well, I'm only good at this, but there's some other things that you're gifted in, that you're talented in, that you were able to contribute in society. It may seem small to you, but search those things that you love, that you can do for free if you could, and home in on those gifts and bring those gifts together through organization, through focusing, through discipline, through strategizing, through allowing others to help support your purpose and your gifts so you can fulfill that purpose. Develop discipline. Use those gifts, and I say this with my wholeheartedly. Use those gifts to serve others. I know this society is me, me. I'm trying to get here and do this and accomplish this and make this, but use those gifts to serve others, and you definitely will feel fulfilled and succeed in your purpose.
Thank you for that, Shannon. You filled our cup today, and it was such a pleasure having you on Go Green Radio. Thank you. And thank you to all of our listeners and viewers out there. I want to thank you for joining us for Go Green Radio. We'll be here same time, same place next week with more Go Green Radio. Until then,